Hello viewers, I'm Chris. In this session, you will learn the concept of data modeling in Power BI with live demos. I'm going to cover the following areas. What is data modeling? Relationship in Power BI, cardinality of the relationship, direction of the relationship, dimension table, and star schema, plus a lot of general best practices when working with Power BI to make your model development go smoother. Without wasting time, let's get started. Now, let's take the topics one by one. What is data modeling? Data modeling is all about connecting different data sources or data sets together to create a relationship and data for reporting. If this is a data set, this is another data set, this is another data set from different sources, you will create a relationship among them. That's it. You have a data model designed, and that concept is called data modeling. Data modeling has been in existence for many years now, over a decade. We have data model in Excel, SQL, but people didn't take much advantage of it until the advent of Power BI. Now, people can use Power BI to extract data from different sources. It can be from spreadsheets or cloud-based API and so on and so forth. That's the advantage Power BI has over Excel. In Excel, that data source must be converted to Excel format before you can model it. But in Power BI, you can pick up the data source from different sources. It doesn't matter whether it's API or spreadsheet. And you work with it. You model it, create a relationship among the tables, and come up with the data for data reporting. So data modeling, the whole idea is for one to have a table or a data optimized for data reporting. So, and we are going to do justice to that by demonstrating this using different live demos. So let's get down to work. This is my Power BI desktop. If you come over here, this is report view. If I click over it, where all the reporting, all the dashboard creation, the visuals are created. Now we have the table view. I have not loaded table here. If I have loaded table, you would have seen the table. Then we have model view. This is the model view where we design or create our relationship. Then this is the dash query view. Now let's go ahead to import our table. I go to get data, click on get data, click on Excel workbook, click on Adventure Works 2020. It's loading. I select the ones I want: sales, products, customers, territory. These are the ones I will work with. I click load. These are the tables loaded. I go to model view. If you observe, you will see that product table, customers table, and sales table, these three tables have relationship existing among them. This is because the column names are the same. As you can see, the column names are the same here. That's why we have relationship automatically created between the two tables. Likewise, the customer table. You can see customer key here. When you have two column names that are the same in both tables, the relationship will be automatically created. Why is it like that? If I go to File, go to Options and Settings, I go to Current File, Data Load, you see that auto detect new relationships after data is loaded. It's enabled. That's why tables that have the same column name are being linked automatically. So relationships are created whenever auto dictate is enabled. And the question is, what of the one that is not linked as a result of not having a column name that matches any of these tables? What do you do then? You have to manually create the relationship. Like the territory, I have to manually create the relationship. Under sales, I drag sales territory key to territory under territory table. As you can see, I've manually created the relationship. Now, looking at our table, you will discover that we have a complete model design. Let me go to report view. I click report view. Okay, I'm in my report view, double click matrix. Let me add the values. Under product table, let me add product name to the row. Let me pick order quantity under values. Under territory, let me pick region to column. Let me expand this. This is the product name from the product table. This is the order quantity from the sales table. And this is the region from the territory table. I was able to get the quantity of the products under each product name in different regions. So if I come over here to model view now, I was able to pick up one column here, one column here, and one column here to create the table I want. And that is this table. So what that means is that data has to come from 3 different tables to form one table that solves one particular problem. This concept is what we call data modeling. Even when I didn't have relationship here, I had to manually create the relationship. At the end, I was able to come up with this model design. You create a relationship between tables. You're able to come up with a data that you can use for reporting. So that's the beauty of data modeling. The next topic is relationship. This shows how 2 or more tables are linked and the way they can communicate to one another. So if I come over to my Power BI, this is the model view. When 2 or more tables are talking to each other, a relationship is created. So a relationship can also be referred to as filtering. And this arrow shows that there's a relationship. Let me remove this relationship. Yes. As you can see, there's no relationship between these 2 tables now, products table and sales table. So if I come to report view, let me remove this. Let me go ahead and create a table. Double click matrix. Under product table, I drag the product name to the row. Yes. Under sales, I drag the unit price to the values. All right. Let me increase the font size. Go to customize this current theme. Let me increase the font size. Click apply. As you can see, the values are the same. Why are they the same? Because there's no relationship. Once I go ahead to create the relationship, now you see the values will change. Let me go to model view and create a relationship between products and sales table. Okay, let me use manage relationship. Instead of using drag and drop, create new relationship. Then here, this is sales. All right, it has done the remaining stuff for me. What is common between them? Product key here under products and product key here under sales. So I click OK, close it. As you can see, it has created a relationship between product table and sales table. Let me go over to my report view. As you can see, it has effected the change. So we have different values now, giving us the accurate value. That's what relationship can do. Next, you can have more than one relationship between tables. Let's take for example, this table, territory table, and sales table. You can have more than one relationship between them. A situation where you have more than one relationship between two tables, the first one will be the active table, and the second one will be the inactive table. Let's take, for example, I've dragged region month ID under sales table to region under territory. As you can see here now, we have two relationships. One is active, the other one is inactive. The one that has does as line is inactive one. This relationship is active one, while this one is inactive. It is not highly recommended to have this kind of setup in a model design. It can cause problem when you want to filter from the reference table to the fact table. The best option is to duplicate that table, then create another relationship. In that way, you will achieve exactly what you want to achieve. This inactive one, let me delete it. So let me go ahead and demonstrate that now. If I go to report view, under modeling, I click new table. I save region ID equal to all brackets. Let me select the table I want to copy. All right, territory brackets. I click this. Let me remove this. Okay, so I click commit. So if I go to model view, now as you can see, I've created a copy of this table, territory. I named it region ID. Exactly the information we have in territory table, that's exactly what we have in region ID. So instead of having active and inactive relationship here, I can go ahead and create another relationship. If I drag this to this region under region ID table, as you can see, I've created a relationship here. So this method is better and have all of them to be active than to just have multiple relationships here. You know, data modeling is all about coming up with the best practice to speed up or optimize performance in data reporting. The next topic I want to talk about is cardinality of the relationship. We have one to many, many to one, one to one, and many to many relationships. Let me go to my Power BI. If I click this, manage relationships, click edit. Under cardinality, we have many to one, one to one, one to many, many to many. So anywhere you see star, it means many, while one is one. Let me explain this using this diagram. One means the values in that column are unique, while many means that we have repeated values. Yes, they are having the same product key, but the product key here has repeated values, while the product key here is unique. Likewise, every other table here, you can see one to star, that's one to many, one to many, one to many. You can also have many to many, but it's not recommended in a data model. Why? It's because many to many can cause problems when referencing your table to the fact table. You can see anywhere you see 1, the arrow goes in a particular direction. So what this means is that the products table, the customers table, the territory tables, the region ID tables, all referencing to sales table. When I treat dimension tables, you understand better. Now, let's move over to the next topic, which is direction of the relationship. If I go back to this place again, let me right click, go to properties here. So this sales table, this territory table, as you can see under direction of the relationship or cross filter direction, we have 2 types. We have single direction of the relationship. We have both direction of the relationship. This arrow shows single cross filter relationship. I have only 1 arrow. Now, let me make it both filter relationship. I click OK. As you can see, the pointer or the arrow has changed. So what we now have is 2 arrows pointing at each other, because we have changed this particular relationship between territory and sales to both cross-filter relationship. Can this table communicate directly to this table without making reference to sales table? The answer is no. So they don't have direct connection between each other. So what do you do when you have something like this? You have to use double filter relationship to make the 2 tables communicate to one another. Let me go ahead and demonstrate this. If I come over to report view, I double click matrix. Now under customers, let me drag date first purchase to this. Let me remove year, quarter, and leave month and day. Under products table, let me pick the size, drag it here. So as you can see, they all have the same values, meaning that there's no relationship between product table and customer table. So if I go ahead now to create this, make it both directional. So under here, I click both directional. As you can see, I've made it both directional here. So let me make it both directional too. Under here, I make it both directional. I've made it both directional here and also both directional here. Now, the 2 can talk to each other. Let me go to report view. As you can see, the value has changed. That's what you use both relational to do. Once again, if I go back, you can see they both filter directional. If I remove it and put it single, as you can see, it has changed back to how it was before. All of them are the same values because I have removed the connection. Must we enable both directional relationship for them to communicate to each other? It's not the best practice. Your data will not be optimized if you do it that way. You have a fact table that collects information from here, and from all these reference tables, which means you can easily reference all these tables from one centralized location. So you don't need to make both cross-filter relationship for them to communicate, as long as this table has direct link to all of them. That takes us to the next topic, which is dimensional modeling, creating dimension tables and fact tables. Now, relationship between fact and dimension table is the one of one to many, from dimension to fact, single, direction, and star schema. Now, when we say one to many, what it means is that the dimension table is unique, and what we have here has repeated values. When we say from dimension to fact. As you can see from the relationship diagram, it's getting information here, being the reference table, and it's moving like this. The arrow here shows that it goes into the fact table. Single directional. When you're talking about dimension table and fact table, it's a single directional table. Star schema. This table, in which every other table is filtering into, is called the star schema. So this is the star schema. So these are the relationship between fact table and dimension table. Now, a fact table, which is this table, contains the value for actual data that we want to analyze or report on. Let's say, for example, sales transactions, the quantity sold, the prices of the total quantity, the cost of the total quantity. It's a classic example of data in a fact table. Let's take, for example, if I have a customer here under customer table that wants a particular product from the product table at a particular date from the date table, where do I store the information? I store the information on the fact table. Now, dimension table contains information to provide description to help categorize, group, filter the transaction data in the fact table. Dimension tables, we call them slicer tables, reference tables, or descriptive tables. And one thing about dimension table is that it can have many columns but few rows. That's why you have a wide table in dimension table. While in fact table, or what we call value table, the column will be small but big row, lead to hundreds of thousands of rows. Now that takes us to what we call star schema. I've explained what fact table is and dimension tables. Now, if all of them are filtering here, this is the star schema. It doesn't mean that you must have a particular number of connections for this to be a star schema. It might be only one dimension table linking to the fact table. It's still a star schema. As long as all the dimension table link to a fact table, that fact table is called a star schema. But if they are not linked to the fact table, they are linked between themselves, or some are linked to a fact table, is no longer a star schema, but what we call snowflake schema. It's no longer a star schema. It's no longer this. That's exactly what we're talking about here. You can have more than one star schema. You can have another table here with this connected to it and this connected to it, then connected to this, with this also connected to it. So you can have more than one star schema. Let me go ahead and do a demonstration. Click on get data, click on test CSV. I click load. Okay, it has loaded. Let me click on this again. Test and get data. Order underscore details. Click load. As you can see, I have two tables here. Now, if I go to model view, you can see there's no relationship between these two tables. And from all indication, these two tables are fact tables. I want to point out something here in this demonstration, that you can have more than one star schema. That's the demonstration I want to do. There's no relationship between them. I go to report view, transform data. Here, under combine, I click append queries. Append queries as new. Remember, merge queries and append queries all combine two tables. So these are the primary ways of combining queries. A merge query, combine one or two columns that you would like to add to another query. While append queries combines rows you want to add to another column. So which table am I appending? Purchase, it's already selected. Then another table. I click OK. So I'm only interested in this quantity column. Where is the column? Okay, this is the column. I highlight it, right click it. I click remove other columns. All right. So I rename this, rename it quantity. Now let me remove the duplicates. I have duplicates here. As you can see, this is 28, this is 28. So I can come over to rows. I say remove duplicates. It has removed duplicates. I click close and apply. As you can see, I have two star schema connected to this. This is a dimension table now. Let me add more dimension tables. I go to get data. Click on test/CSV. Click on this company. I click load. So let me add another one. You can see that company table is connected to purchases. Quantity is connected to purchases. Quantity is connected to other details. Likewise, products table is connected to other details. So this goes to show that we have two star schemas here. Like I said, you can add as many tables as you want. So here now I have two star schema, purchases and other tables. And all these dimension tables are connected to them. So that's the point I'm trying to make, that you can have multiple star schema. Please use this rarely or avoid them. Many to many relationship, both directional relationship and inactive relationship. There are other ways you can go about this in your data modeling. That's the much I can take in this demonstration. So if this video is useful to you, please don't forget to subscribe. If you subscribe, you are encouraging me to do more videos. Also hit the notification button so that you'll be duly notified whenever I release another video or more videos. And also share my videos to your friends and well-wishers so that they can also benefit. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.